Welcome to an overview of the industry-leading real-time bi-directional integration between Inova and Acumatica. Seamlessly sync your organization's employee and time data, cost centers, and payroll journal entries for a unified finance and operations experience. This diagram showcases the fields that sync between the two platforms. This includes employee data and journal entries from Inova to Acumatica, and unlimited sub-accounts, branches, departments, cost codes, projects, tasks, and time activities from Acumatica to Inova. With this seamless integration, your organization gets a unified experience to gain efficiency and insight into the financial, payroll, employee, and time data that is important to you. Here you can see the frequency of the data sync between Inova and Acumatica. Cost centers and journal entries sync daily, employee data syncs every 4 hours, and time activities sync whenever triggered. This final diagram highlights the complete Inova solution, empowering you to manage the entire employee lifecycle from hire to retire with a single unified platform. Now Jonathan will take you through a brief demo of the Inova and Acumatica integration.
This video demonstrates the time activity sync from Acumatica into employee pay statements in Inova Payroll. The time activities integration can be customized to run on a set schedule so that your time activities sync into payroll after you get them entered week to week, or it can be triggered manually if you prefer. In this example, I have an employee on the screen that has entered hours across a given week, the time allocated to regular and overtime earnings. When we run the sync, usually this would take around a minute, depending on how many employees you have. For one employee, in this case, it just takes a few seconds. On the Inova Payroll side, we can refresh our pay statements, and you'll see a pay statement has been created for this employee. If we open up the pay statement detail, we can see that those overtime and regular earnings have been added to the employee's pay statement. If they've done any job costing in Acumatica with time associated with projects or labor items or other job costing components as well, and populated on the pay statement so that they will be reflected in the journal entry that is created after the payroll is run. This video demonstrates the job costing or cost center sync between Acumatica and Inova Payroll. In this example, we will use cost codes, but you can also sync projects, tasks, non-stock items, and other job costing components between systems. In Acumatica, we will add an additional cost code for drainage and save the change. When the integration runs, that new category of cost code will be added in an Inova Payroll system. When we refresh the list, we'll see we now have a drainage item added to our list of available cost codes in Inova Payroll.
The Inova Payroll integration with Acumatica will sync journal transactions into Acumatica after a payroll is run. This video is a quick demonstration of how that process works. Inside Inova, I will finalize the test payroll, indicating the payroll is ready to be processed and journal transactions can be transmitted. Toggle over to Acumatica, we can refresh the journal transactions page to see that no journal transactions are currently populated. Integration runs, journal transactions will sync in about 10 seconds. We can now refresh the page and see that our journal transaction has populated with details. The Acumatica API allows for several different parameters in the journal transaction detail, so you can customize how your journal transactions are brought over.